Hello, children. Today, let's go with our 11th chapter of science respiration in living organisms. Yeah, yes, children, we all be respiring every day. Every moment we respire. Yes or no? We know that people may survive without food for several days. They go on a fast or hunger strike, but during time that they drink some water or other liquids at least once a day. Isn't or not? But what about air? Don't we feel suffocated if we don't get air even for a short while? Yes, we feel suffocated, children. We can't, in a moment, we can't be without breathing. The process by which air goes in and out of our body is called breathing. In this lesson, we will study about what happens when we as well as other organisms breathe. How does this process help in respiration? So we go with the activity 1, respiration in human beings. Let's first find out how long a person can hold her or his breath. Hold in the sense how much time we could stay without air. Use a watch with a seconds needle to time your breathing. If you don't have a watch, then practice counting at the uniform rate. You can measure the time by counting. Close your mouth and close your nose with your fingers so that air cannot pass through it. So, how long could you keep your mouth and nose closed? You should know. How long? What did you feel after keeping your mouth and nose closed for so long? Might be 20 seconds or 30 seconds you might be holding. In that time, what did you feel? Like everything lost? Yes? Let us do two activity. Second activity. How many breaths in a minute? Hold a finger under the nose of one of your friends or your relatives or family members. The side with the fingernail should face the nostrils. The fingernail which you keep in front of your relatives or friends or family members' nose, that fingernail should face the nostrils. Ask your friend to breathe in and out normally. Ask a person to breathe in and out normally. What did you feel on your finger when your friend exhaled? You might be feeling somewhat warm air coming out of the nose. Use this method to find out how many times your friend inhales and exhales in a minute. So take a watch and count how many exhalations, how many inhalations. Means how many times he could take in the air and give out the air in a minute. Did your friend inhale as many times as she exhaled in a minute? Yes, it will be. The process of breathing in air is called inspiration, and that of breathing out air we call it as expiration. The number of times we breathe in and breathe out air in a minute is called respiration rate. You could see respiration in organisms. Breathing in, then here respiration in organisms, breathing out. See here respiration, inhalation and exhalation. Exercise and breathing. You may have seen that we begin to pant after running or exercising. Panting in the sense taking air very fast. So, do exercise and running affect the rate at which we breathe in and out? Yes, it affects. This running or exercising makes a person to breathe more. In your opinion, does the expiration rate increase or decrease after exercising? It will increase. The air we breathe in fills our lungs that are located in our chest. So these lungs are located in the chest, which are taking air from the nose. In the following experiment, we shall see what happens to our chest when we inhale or exhale air. Let's see that expansion of chest with each breath. Take a length of twine or a measuring tape. Wrap the tape around the chest of one of your friends and measure the width of her or his chest. Hold the tape tightly and ask your friend to breathe in and out deeply for a second. Deeply for few seconds. Do you find any difference between measurements? Yes. When inhale, the chest width increases. When you exhale, it comes to same position again. How does the width of the chest change when air is inspired or exhaled? When we inhale or inspire, what happens? Below the chest cavity, we have a dome shaped diaphragm. This diaphragm will be widened and becomes flat when air will be inhaled. Then, whatever the air it is taken in that cavity, it will be given out. Due to that, the space will be emptied and the diaphragm comes to its original position. See here, children. First and second diagrams. First diagram is the regarding inspiration. When you inspire, what happens? The chest cavity decreases and the diaphragm becomes flat, making air to be taken more. Then to the second diagram, if we come, it is expiration. When we give out air, the chest cavity will be emptied. Then the diaphragm moves up into the original position. Air will be given out. How much air in your breath? In a breath, how much air is it present? Let's see. Make a measuring cylinder with a 2-liter plastic bottle and 100 ml injection bottle. To do this, pour 100 ml of water at a time in the bottle and mark the water level after each addition. Now fill the bottle to the brim and invert it in a bucket or a large container of water. But remember, no air bubbles should remain in the bottle after you invert it. So we have to take a bucket first of all and a bottle along with a pipe, plastic pipe we have to take. So in the bottle we have to fill with water. Bottle also we have to fill with water. And we have to invert that bottle in the bucket. In order that in the bottle no water bubble should be seen. Okay. Insert one end of a rubber tube or the pipe which I said into the mouth of the bottle underwater. Underwater into the mouth of the bottle we have to send a rubber tube. And other end, insert one other end of a rubber tube into the mouth of the one end into the mouth of the bottle underwater. Hold the other end of the tube in your hand. Inhale as much as air you can and blow the air into the measuring cylinder through the rubber tube. First, after inserting the rubber pipe, we have to inhale the air, how much we could according to our capacity. Then blow the air into the pipe, that rubber tube. Don't breathe in while blowing the air. While blowing the air into the pipe, we should not take air into the nose. Blow out as much air as you can in a single breath. Single breath only we have to give whole air. This air will collect in the measuring cylinder. As a result, the water level in the measuring cylinder will fall. As the air goes into the bottle, the air will be going up and pushing water to down. Due to this, the water level will be decreased in the bottle or the measuring cylinder. As a result, the water level in the cylinder will fall. The reduction in water level is equal to the air you breathe. How much air were you able to exhale in a single breath? How much we inhale, that much we could exhale. Okay. Find the amount of air the others in your group breathe out in a single breath and compare these amounts. What are they saying? Find out amount of the air the others in your group breathe out in a single breath and compare these amounts. So you have to make it with others and compare. Was the amount of air the same for all your friends? No, it won't be same. According to their capacity, the amount of air changes. Next activity, let's go with. Let us do 5 difference between inhaled and exhaled air. Exhale air from your nose on the back of your index finger. Take your index finger, keep in front of your nose and exhale air onto that finger. Is this air warm? Yes, it will be. Now use a syringe to pump some air on your finger. Is the air from the syringe also warm? No, it won't be. Next we see moisture in our breath, activity 6. On cold winter mornings, you may have noticed that the air you breathe out is misty. Misty in the sense having humidity in that. Why does this happen? We shall do an experiment to find out. We have to take a mirror, wipe it clean with a cloth, blow air from your mouth on the surface of the mirror. Blowing air in the sense you could see the example from the advertisement you see in your television. The close up ad, if you think so, children, close up ad. They also will be blowing air onto your mirror with the mouth. Here you could see, what could we see there? Look at the surface of the mirror carefully. What did you see? Some water droplets have formed on that. Clean the mirror again and blow air on it with a syringe. Did you see the same effect on the mirror this time? No, we could not see that. On the basis of this experiment, would it be correct to say that exhaled air is more moist than air from a syringe? Next, discovery of carbon dioxide. The first step towards trying to find out what air contained was carried out by von Helmont. He conducted an experiment of burning charcoal, which leads to the formation of ash. Yes, when we also burn coal, it leads to formation of ash. He found the weight of the ash to be much less as compared to the charcoal. Yes, it looks as the same. On the basis of this, he concluded that the decrease in mass was due to formation of an invisible substance which he named a gas. That means while eating charcoal, some of the gas will be going out. Due to that, the weight of the ash formed will be less. You could see the pictures of von Helmont and Joseph Black. In the year 1756, Joseph Black studied this gas in more detail. He found that when limestone is heated or reacted with acids, it gives rise to a gas which he called fixed air. He studied several properties of this gas. One of the properties was lime water turned milky when this gas was passed through that. Calcium oxide is the lime water. It turned milky when we sent this gas on it. Now we know this gas as carbon dioxide. Next, discovery of oxygen. After nearly 2 decades of discovery of carbon dioxide, oxygen was discovered. Joseph Priestley published his experiments and observations on different kinds of air and was the first to prove the different qualities of the gases released by plants and the ones exhaled by animals, mice. He discovered that although a candle burned out in a closed container, when he added a living sprig of mint to the container, the candle would continue to burn. At the time, Priestley did not know of oxygen, but he correctly concluded that the mint spring restored the air that the burning candle or mice, which he used in a similar set of experiments, has spoiled. Priestley shared his observations with Lavoisier. Lavoisier had also conducted several experiments on atmospheric air and knew that it contained many gases, and he identified Priestley's discovery as an active component of air for which he had been searching. He called it oxygen, the Greek acid former, in the belief that all acids contained it. Here are the pictures of Joseph Priestley and Lavoisier. So Lavoisier found out the living air as a oxygen. He named it whatever Joseph Priestley found. You could see here the nasal cavity, the nose, nostrils and windpipe of human beings. Air enters through the nostrils into the nose, to the nasal cavity and to the windpipe to lungs. Exhalation. When we exhale air, what happens? The lungs will be contracted, low in pressure they will be, and the chest cavity will be increased, that will be decreased when air moves out. That means oxygen will be taken, carbon dioxide will be given out. The diaphragm will be relaxed, it moves up. This air, carbon dioxide, will be given through the blood vessels to the alveoli. The round structures here, pink color here, these are alveoli. These are the units of lungs. And oxygen will be given into the blood. When air will be inhaled, The air enters through the nostril into the lungs and into the alveoli. Then the chest cavity will be increased. Then air moves out, chest cavity will be decreased. You could see here in the pictures. Why did we use a syringe in experiments 5 and 6? To know the differences between the exhalation of air through mouth and a syringe. You must have understood from these experiments that there are differences between the air we breathe out and the air from a syringe. To know this, we have used syringe here. What does our breath contain? We know that we intake and exhale air. The exhaled air is warm and has moisture in it. What we do not know is about the gases our body takes from the inhaled air and throws out in exhaled air. For this, we would have to know about the gases present in air. Also, how we came to know about them. We know that air is a mixture of several gases, not only oxygen and carbon dioxide. There are others as well. Air also contains several suspended particles. Let's do some experiments to find more about gases present in inhaled and exhaled air. For this, we shall refer to the discoveries of the gases mentioned in the previous section that we discovered already. We will have to prepare some solutions to test the gases. These are phenolphthalein solution and lime water. Prepare them in the same manner as you had done in the chapter of acids and bases. So this we continue in our next video. Till here for today. Thank you, children.